about, in the spirit of leadership with a global perspective, the West today is facing issues of unsustainable economies that have pushed the planet and its physical systems to the brink of collapse and created a world of gross social and economic imbalance. Now, as a country, Nigeria and continent Africa are still in the journey of our development. What are your thoughts on the paradigm of development that should guide us as we go? Do we go the way that the West has gone to replicate their kind of system, or do you see a unique opportunity here for us to develop in a way that puts sustainability at the fore and ensures that wealth is distributed more fairly and equally, and in the same way secures the future of Africa? I ask this because we study these principles in school. I am a second year PhD student in material science at the University of Cambridge.
I said they shouldn't write it.
It's also good if you're going to ask questions, try to view context. This is Cambridge, where we can challenge existing ideas. Last year I was at the World Bank and I was having a conversation with Indamit, who was the World Bank Vice President. And the whole presentation from Harvard Business School. My name is Chika Izuku. I just finished my PhD last week. And all the whole models we were running was tilted towards remove subsidy, which we also mentioned basically in your campaign on why Nigeria should remove subsidy. And now President Bola Tinubu came in and removed subsidy without countermeasures, and we saw the effect. In the foreign exchange and every other thing. The question is, so far that I know in the literature, in community measure literatures and economic literature, none of the measures from the West has ever worked for Nigeria.
Thank you.
And then, if none of the measures have worked, do you think we shall align closely to the East? Because you mentioned China. And even though we don't follow the paradigm of their development, like Patience is mentioned, what is the measure that we are going to adopt? That's, in terms of looking at it from the perspective of developing local measures for our local problems. Up till today, we are still waiting for Oxford to release malaria vaccine that they've developed, which they've not globalized. Now, if you become president, how would you handle some of these contextual problems with contextual solutions?
Thank you.
Being fully aware that there are structures in place.
Okay, let me answer that.
No, because you are also aware of the structures that stopped, good leaders from emerging as president or governors. And they are still existing.
Education. There are universal basic education at the center, which is Abuja. We have universal basic education in the states. And we have universal basic education in local governments before the money gets to the school. So when they give us money in Abuja, it comes to our system in the state, goes to the system in local government before it goes to school. And I said, no. Why can't the money move from Abuja to school? These two toll gates are not necessary. They just reduce the quantum of the money that is applicable in school. And I had all sorts of petitions. Because I mentioned it in one of his speeches. He said, listen, you can question Peter's method, but you can't question what Itachi meant. I said, no, you can't do it. Why can't we give money to the principal of the school? Everybody knew that as a governor, I visited all secondary schools. All senior prefects have my phone number. Every money we spent went to the principal. So we have a place, like I always give as an example, we had an erosion in KRC, which are calling an Onitsha. The principal said he will fix it with 27 million naira. Our ministry have almost 80-something million naira. And they said the principal is not a qualified engineer, he's not this, he's not this, anything. The person who lives with this erosion said he needs 27. You who is going to go for me and do it said you need. It's done it since 2009. No erosion. If we had done it, it would have been a problem. I was impeached for not obeying due process. That was my first impeachment. My first impeachment was my office. When I became governor, there was no office of governor or the governor's resident because for one issue or the other, those who knew Anambra State very well, it was burnt. That is not the issue I'm going to do. But when I came, the budget for the repairing and fixing the office of governor was 298 million. I fixed everything with 43,200,000. The only thing I didn't buy new was a table because one of our former governors, late Governor Badinuju, had a table he used, they kept somewhere, and I passed and I saw the table. And I said, this table is good. They said, hey, you know this table? I said, table is table. It's just for somebody to sit down and write. A governor can write here. If he wants to write, it's not going to, nothing, if you don't know what to write, you know. So we bought that table. And that was what we used. The number 2 item was issue of the lodge. The budget was 486 million. I fixed everything with 81 million. Because they were writing designer grade from there. This guy said, listen, there must be somebody in Oka that can do a bed. Bed is bed. If you have to sleep, you can sleep in any bed. There's nothing. If you have reason not to sleep, even if they bring the best bed, you'll be awake. So don't. What am I trying to say? They say, oh, I didn't follow the due process. Because if I wanted those contracts to those who will share the money, and every other reason. So, what am I trying to say? There's no World Bank. The same World Bank worked in Asia. There's World Bank in China. Because it was in China. Because it was in Malaysia. So, the same World Bank is in all those places. To even tell you, China used Millennium Development Goals developed by the same world system, apply it in their planning and budgetary condition between 2000 to 2015. That's what they used to pull 439 million people out of poverty. India used it to put 266 million out of poverty. Africa through more people. So it is not those things that are for you to use and use them. And that leads me to what my dear sister said. The global view, the global perspective, why is it not working? It is not working. It is not the view. It is not what you learn in Cambridge here. It is the applicability, the mind. The human mind, the way it works, the way you feel and everything. It is you. By the time they start calling you His Excellency and start giving you title, the way you see things is what the way you perceive life. What is life? If not that you have served humanity. It is you, the human being. So when we are not saying, oh, how do you people? Of course, there's so many criminals that have gone to school. In fact, they're more sophisticated. So many of them. That's why if they have to elect people, they have to ask the question, they have to ask fundamentals and everything. I said in my recent lecture in Harvard that we need to have a parliamentary system, even if we remain with presidential system, where the people we elect will not only debate before we elect them, but during Prime Minister's question here, does anybody answer for the Prime Minister? No. In Nigeria, if I'm elected as governor or anybody, I can just hire some people talking for me. And nobody hears about me again. You don't hear anything. You ask somebody now and say, okay, how about the president? He says on a private visit, private holiday. Hey, you're a public figure. You've chosen this. You can no longer remain private. If you want to remain private, you go to your house. I leave our office. Is anybody asking where Tony Blair is now? No. Is anybody asking where his trust is now? So now I cannot do the same thing. If you must go to any place, you tell us where you are because you're choosing to be a prime minister. But in Nigeria, they will say governor is on private visit. He's on holiday. How? That is nothing. So it is the people. And how do young people change it? You can actually. It will shock you that all the people they are using to do the wrong thing in Nigeria are the youth. Yeah. They are the thugs. When our children are not part of it, our children are somewhere answering children of governor, children of minister, and we hire other people. Not the elderly people that kill or do the wrong thing. It is the youth who were actually hurting their future. It is the youth who go to carry ballot box. It is youth. So it is for you people to understand. The money that is being stolen, you know all the treasury foreign bonds that is being issued by African countries today. They are payable in 2040, 2050, 2060. When we no longer be there, it's you that's going to pay it. We are just borrowing it down. It's going fast. Somebody's going to pay that bill. And it's you, because we got by them. So it's for you to question. Like your colleagues in the Western world. And he asked that difficult question that I said you should write. What I said it, your own question, I said it, the difficult question I said it. At the end of the day, it is this people. It's for you. Can you just summarize that your question again? What?
About sustainable development, is there a unique opportunity here, sir?
Let me tell you. How did China, forget about communism. Okay, there's election in Indonesia, there's election in India. What did India do? What is Bangladesh doing? There's election there. So it's not communism. We are signatory to the same Millennium Development Goals. We are signatory, all of us signed it. But somebody went back and said, this thing that I signed, I will apply it. When we are coming here, our man says, okay, we'll drive. And I said, it's easy to drive in the UK. It's easy to drive in the Western world. Because you now have everything showing you where you're going. If you follow there, you get to a destination. The problem in Nigeria, that this is the destination, the man will turn and be doing another thing. But they said if you follow this, you get to your destination. That's the sustainability. And then there's the order. There's everything. I said it before. In Nigeria, if I'm a governor, a public office holder, everybody knows who I am, my words, before I got in there. And I get in there, I'm doing the wrong thing. Nobody gets up and says, no, you can't do this. No, this is not allowed. Everybody just says, you're right. I tell people, because talk about sustainability and everything, it is the system that makes it here. If they elect you, if tomorrow people wake up and saw the British Prime Minister with 6 vehicle convoys, only 6. Now, just like they just saw somebody who did party, only party. He didn't do anything, and he didn't even use their money to do the party. He just opened his garden and people down there, everybody said no. They challenged it. In this university, same thing. So sustainability, the first rule is that people are ready to question rascality and things that are not accepted. I was in America and I asked them, the biggest state in America is California is a 4 trillion state, 10 times Nigerian GDP. If governor of California takes a private jet to Washington, the plane won't land before they start talking for his removal. The people. I paid pension. I always use as an example. I paid pension and gratuity that are being owed by an old woman called Mrs. Ndibe. I go to church every morning. People have seen the bishop. My priest now used to come and do my morning mass. He's not a bishop. They saw him say that this man comes to mass every day while he was coming. I was in the church. 80-year-old woman came. Because I don't go into the church with anybody, security. Because if I cannot be secured in the church, like I don't believe in God, then I'm finished. Because if people have to carry God and enter the church with me. The woman came and took everything, my Bible, everything, and told me to leave the church. 80 years old, Mrs. Ndibe. Okay, Ndibe's mother. It's better that I know. Said I should leave the church. Everyone said, "Man, you cannot do that." He said I should leave the church. I said, God will not hear my prayers. That she's being owed pension and gratuity. And she's resigned since over 10 years ago. If I want God to listen to my prayer, I should go and pray. And I said, "Ma, can I come to your house in the evening?" He said, "I should not come to the house. He doesn't want to see me. What he wants me to do is to pay." In the evening, I went to look for Mrs. Ndibe. When I finished visiting Mrs. Ndibe, I decided I must pay this money. After I paid that something billion naira to those who were being paid. I said it in several forums because people know about it. I said about how a JS1 student, junior student, made me to prepare school. Because I went to their school and said, there's a roof. And I said, by the time you will come back in the next semester, this will be fixed. It wasn't done. I went to that locality. And when it was question time, a young girl raised her hand to ask questions. And because she was tiny, I said, let's start from you. She said, he got up and said, "Governor, innocently, why do you make promise you don't keep?" The whole hall was quiet. Her principal came to carry her until I said, "Wait." And everything she said was true. And I said, "The principal, I've asked you." I've asked the principal, "How is everything?" "Everything is good. Everything is okay." Because as governor, nobody ever tell you you're doing bad. In fact, everybody you meet, you're the best thing that happened until you leave. So when you leave, the next time, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. So we now came back, and I asked Commissioner for Education, "Give me a check to give it." I gave it to him, to her. Sorry. I brought check. I had to go and write the check that was promised to them and gave it to the girl. The same principal came and carried her in her hand and danced out of it. So we can sustain it. If only all of us, like the question he asked, can you change it? Those things you've learned in this, those exposures you have seen, like I've seen it when I was going from one school to the other. You know what I used to tell people? I said, I went to some of these schools like Cambridge, in the business school, they put your name as that, you soccer, everything, your name is everywhere. What will it be if they see you in handcuff, stolen money? Is it not the same thing? People are taking pictures with you everywhere. Remember what I keep saying, I'm not a saint. So you don't want to be involved with one scandal or the other. You are striving hard not to do it, just like you. Imagine you coming out of Cambridge here or going to one of these fine universities and they say you are involved with this. You don't want that. You don't want to do that. She doesn't want to be after saying I'm vice president of students in Cambridge, and it's all over the place, and your name is all over. So it is in trying to do that global sustainability, behaviors, and everything you're looking for. What is the good result? What is this? Because when you do it well, you know what will happen. Cambridge will now, one of the schools that went, like Kellogg's School, one of them now puts my picture. When people, because they happy to be was there. The same way it will be when you don't do it right. They say, happy to be was there. What year? Because everybody wants to be against it. So thank you for this. And
to de-tribalize Nigeria. My question is with respect to the Al-Majiri that you have just mentioned. It seems as if in certain parts of Nigeria it is the structure, it is the way of life of certain invested interests to perpetuate things like poverty, the Al-Majiri, the thugs in the West, the thugs in Southeast Nigeria. How do we break those particular strongholds? You have it in the social-cultural fabric in the country. So how do we break down those barriers in the north that encourages that, in the east that encourages things like IPOB, in the west that we have people seceding, and so on and so forth? There's these very strong things which, even though people have traveled abroad, when they get back to Nigeria, they become parochial, encouraging things like Al-Majiri. And some of us feel that it's setting the country back.
well, simply, I just deal with that simply because people, they don't know. Again, when you don't know the value, it's like somebody who have, put it this way, it's like having a private business and having a business where a quoted business. You think that your private business is doing well. So people, because the measure of success is different. So if I go to my village and everybody's in my gate begging, that shows I'm a rich man. When the effect is a risk to me. Because if everybody is doing well, it is better for everybody. But if everybody is begging, there's something one day, one must kidnap your children for money. So those people, the society can only develop by those people being good people, doctors, everything. It becomes more competitive, it becomes more developed. So it is the idea, that's what they can get from what the person that asks about sustainability. It is to have those who know, understand that this is the only way to go. These are the measurable ways of developing and sustain it. Because when people say that we are doing well, I'm saying, how come in 20 years we've not generated more electricity? What is difficult in it? In Egypt, between 2015 and 2022, doubled their output. Egypt now exports power to Europe. And of course, Tanzania, you saw what happened in Tanzania. They just shut down some of their systems because they have more than they need. So what is wrong in our own? Is it that they cannot? It's just human. And people don't even know that the first loan we ever borrowed on that Tefa in 1990 was for electricity to build Kaiji down. And it was held by a World Bank. So it's not World Bank. They held it and said, this is a futuristic investment. And that Kaiji dam is still there. So how many other Kaiji dam were? And we borrowed more money than that. And we used it to do what?
Nothing.
We stole it. So it was not World Bank. They lent us money. They didn't steal it. Because I've seen people say, our problem is from the West. How?
They pay school fees.
People have just stolen your money. Said it the West. It's people from Britain. Let's deal with the man who took our money. So that is the man of Nigeria. It is now, okay, it has become a problem. The North is insecure. Because we didn't invest in those people. I can tell that if those people were engineers, doctors, and everything, that won't happen.
But the northern elite wants it.
No. We're dealing with yesterday. All of us here wants to deal with tomorrow. Let us not be trapped in the process of yesterday. Those who think about yesterday and today will miss tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow. I'm not worried about what happened in my state yesterday. When I came, people said, I said, listen, yesterday is gone. We can't reverse it. What do we do tomorrow? If we go to yesterday, and that's why I said that people come to government and start reminding us of the past. We didn't hire you to tell us about yesterday. We saw that things were bad. We're looking for a new CEO, so we hired you. What we want to hear is how to solve the problem. Don't tell us, don't remind us about where we're coming from, because where we're coming from was bad. If it was good, we wouldn't have hired you. So for me, it is not how bad things are. You know, how do we solve it? Solutions, slippers. What I'm doing now is part of it for me. Going around and preaching to people like you and saying, don't lose hope. Whatever it is, if it's for Nigeria, it's about the election. I finished the election, I should go home now. What is all these things that are going around now? We can kind of saying this thing, today I'm saying it, and I can assure you, within the next 4 months, you'll see me in this month. I have other 5 places to go and say, what is this man doing? And the same system is questioning, why are you still running around? Election is over. What are you doing? Did I ask people to vote for me now here? No. I'm saying we can change this. But because they are used to, they've captured it, so this man should go and sit down or come for his own share. He refused. And just going around talking rubbish. What is he talking? Some say he's even a bitter man. You don't look at somebody who is bitter. I'm not a bitter man. I'm as happy as I should be. Because I know the strong things are happening. Thank you.
So, I'm going to ask you a question, probably put you on the spot, but my question is, which way would you go? Would you go the way of El Salvador, where they've adopted the Bitcoin, or would you go the way of Joe Biden, who is banning cryptocurrencies? In fact, Bitcoin in particular. Thank you.
The value of dollar, people are running away from it. We're not running away from it. We're not part of those. We're still looking for it. So we're not part of those who are running away from it. You know, but
there are almost 300 banks on the verge of closure right now.
300 what?
300 banks on the verge of closure.
Because of dollar.
Because of their debt.
Yes.
Debt is different from dollar.
Yeah, that is because of their debt. Quite frankly, we are not running away from dollar, and
we want it.
For us, it's still a store of value because it's still the only currency we use to trade internationally. The only problem is that we're not getting it. It's affecting even our rates and even our local purchasing power, because for us to be able to increase our reserve, we need to be productive. We're not a productive country. We need to do more. And to be productive is to export. Even the only thing we're exporting, which is oil, we're not even meeting our quota. Somebody who needs help, we're not meeting our quota, which shouldn't be. So we still want to, so I won't say I'm going to go into other currency when we haven't finished with one we have already, you know. However, the world is dynamic. you keep studying it, keep looking at what to do and everything. It's like I didn't mention when you asked about issue of removal of subsidy. Let me be honest with you. There was enough criminality in the subsidy issue that you needed to remove
First.
before dealing with the issue of actual removal. What it is that he went and said, no, there's criminality in it. Things are not done properly. It's just like saying we do not have enough money for development. I agree with that. We need to have more money, but again, we have not utilized the one we have efficiently. Like I always ask people, you know, this country, they have a national library?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. The British library.
In America, they have a national library.
Yes.
Nigeria does not have a national library. That library was awarded by Abacha. It's not working. The budget for that library this year is about 980 or 982 million naira. But our National Assembly budgeted 15 billion to build National Assembly library. We don't have money. So you see what it is. So you have that situation. When the British Prime Minister had COVID, where did they take it? No.
Guy hospital.
Which hospital?
Guy.
Can you go to that one? Yeah. Everybody goes there. So we have a hospital called National Hospital who did not receive 10% of the budget of their summer clinic where one person goes. When it is not up to 3 miles from where the person lives, it happened to me as a governor. They had a clinic in Governor's Lodge with ambulance and everything, and the hospital just like, do you have ambulance? I say, hey, and when I move around as governor, ambulance is following me. I say, what? They say, yes, it's advancing. What do you mean? But if hospital have it, if anything happens, they will come. So that's what I'm saying. We don't have enough. That's enough Africa. The little we have should be managed in a more efficient and productive manner. And when you do that, you increase the production. Not that we don't have enough. So Office of Governor receive more money than education, health, everybody put together. And what is the governor using to do? Because if he has to travel, he has to travel with 20 people who have no reason to travel with him, except to create public nuisance and confusion at expense of the state. When we reduce all this, and that's what I was talking about, let us do things in a more efficient manner. And then we can now be able to deal with the future. Okay. The last one, we do.
Candidate, we know your results, but looking at the previous election, most people actually gave, like personally, I was hopeless after the election because I know you won the election and people actually came out to do what they thought was the right thing to do. But what do you think we should do different next time so that we don't actually find ourselves going back to this situation? Thank you very much. So what should we do different? What should we do different? Thank you.
I'm going along the same line with what he said. In terms of global citizenship, and you want us to go on global citizens, what is a good way to start, a safe way to start, considering the way Nigeria is right now? Because in the long run, I want to go back to lead So what is safe for a good starting point for a political career?
Okay, very simple. The safe way is to support those who are doing it right. Simple. Because if you support those who are doing it right, you build a level playing field where people's talents, hard work will match up their opportunity. 90%, call it 75% of my commissioners are people I've never met before. The people I've never met before, they didn't campaign with me. I looked at the CVs, I carried, and they were very good people. I never met my chief of staff in my life till he became my chief of staff. But she's a wonderful woman. Any day, any time. Somebody who can't go wrong. You know, and you asked about election. What are you going to do? People have asked me that they lost hope. They didn't sit in. What we did last year, my young brother, changing a system that is decadent, a system of state capture, is not a spring race. It's a long distance. When you want to bring a change, you have for enemy all those who belong to the old order as enemies. And those who are already willing to change. Go and take change all over the world. It's never happened overnight. Because they're not going to walk away. They have the system. So what we need to do is to continue what we're doing. If we continue, they'll change it. That's why maybe after election, they bring all sorts of things. Oh, he's religious, he's anarchist, he's tribal, he's not this. But I keep asking them, okay, show me where the northerners were buying bread with food cheap. No, they're exactly. So all those things will always come in. Because the measure is that. So we continue. We didn't do anything wrong. No. No bias is part of the system. People say, how are you going to change the judiciary? They're part of the system. Once the system starts changing, you'll be shocked. I always say to people that it was the same teachers that were teaching when we were number 20-something in secondary school that were teaching when we became number 1. We didn't change them. One change, supervision. Mindset. So we come to school. They don't know whether the governor is going to come. And the governor walks in and said, what are we doing here? The children, because I've empowered them, say, our English teacher is not teaching well. And that was what changed. And I can assure you it will change. Did you see the JAMB result this year? Huh? Huh?
Why did JAMB say they won't release it?
No. No, forget about the region.
No, don't go there.
1.4 million.
We have 1.4 million.
Out of 1.8.
And nobody's panicking.
That's the issue.
No. Nobody's even talking about it. That shows you
The future.
in any other country, it's just like they say, oh, 20 people were killed here. Nobody visits them. Nobody cares. Here you say, oh, one person. Not even one. You hear that 200 children have been kidnapped. My brother, they carry boss, carry them. Not that they carry them, they put them in a bus. Over 10 buses, driving away. Nobody knows where they went to. So you ask yourself, hey, wait a minute. What's going on? You know, they have funds. Even those who are negotiating, they have funds. You know where to keep the money. So that's what you face. It's a crisis situation. And that is not, try to condemn it. They say this people will be speaking of trouble. Why is this still going around? Thank you.